So we have an idea, roughly, if the ceasefire holds now for the next few hours, around 4 o'clock, there will be the first release of the hostages. But we're also going to cross to Cairo because we want to get a sense of what's going on in terms of increasing humanitarian aid. Let's bring in our correspondent, Eduard Cousin. Eduard, talk us through what we know for the increase in aid, when it starts and how much of a difference it should make.
Yeah, and so since the start of the fighting, aid has been started to pile up in Egypt, on the Egyptian side of the Rafah border with Gaza. And in the city of Arish, 50 kilometers from the Gaza border, planes from all over the world started to flown in with aid. There was a lot of Egyptian aid collected, and it has been waiting there to enter Gaza. Now, 4 weeks ago, we're in a way rejoicing like the first aid that could trickle into Gaza, and then we were talking about 20 trucks a day. So that's 4 weeks ago when the first small bits of aid started to go in. We were talking about 20 trucks. Now that has been increased over the past weeks. The past days we were talking about up to 80, 90 trucks a day. But now Egypt says like 200 trucks of medicines, food and water will enter daily during the truce. So that is a serious, significant increase of the amount of aid we have seen coming in before. Officials and UN personnel say it's still not enough. The war also has been going on for several more weeks. There's been a lot more destruction, displacement, more wounded, more facilities destroyed. So there's still more needed, but it is a big improvement according to what we saw before. Also, as you said, 130,000 liters of diesel will enter, which is more than the number of fuel we have seen in the past days. 4 trucks of gas. On the same time, the 4 nationals that are stuck in Gaza, they have been able to leave in the past weeks, and that will also continue. Wounded will continue to be taken from Gaza into Egypt, even though there are still small numbers. But those processes that we have seen will also continue during this truce.
I mean, you've talked about the need. I think before the conflict, we're talking about 500 lorries going in a day. And now we're hearing doctors at some of the hospitals saying they are operating without any type of anaesthetic. You've got babies still in some of the hospitals. You've got 50,000 pregnant women estimated to be soon to give birth, according to the UN agency on the ground. So, as you say, it's desperately needed. Egypt also involved in part in the hostage release too, because, is this right, the hostages going through the Rafah crossing into Egypt?
Yeah, and indeed, it seems that this hostages taken by Hamas in Gaza, these are the Israeli captives they have, they will leave through the Rafah border into Egypt. The Qatar sources said that today they expect 13 women of children to be taken out of Gaza, Israeli hostages out of Gaza into Egypt, and they will be received by the International Red Cross here in Egypt. I think Rafah is the logical place to do this, because the other borders between Gaza and Israel are basically front line now and in the middle of a war zone. So the one safe crossing out of Gaza that is not part of this front line in this war zone is the Rafah border. But the Gaza Strip is very, very small. So the Rafah border is very close to an Egyptian border post with Israel. Only a few kilometers away, the Israel and Egypt border. So I can imagine, and though we don't know exactly how this will happen, but it could be that these hostages are coming into Egypt, being received by the Red Cross, and then directly through Egypt are being taken into Israel. I don't know that for sure, but that seems a logical way to do it.
Eduard, good to talk to you. Eduard Cousin, our correspondent in Cairo.